Microsoft 365 Defender for Endpoint. What is it? How does it work? It's time to learn. Hi everyone, Andy Malone, Microsoft MVP, as well as a Microsoft certified trainer. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for coming by. This time I've got a session which is a specific request from one of you guys. Microsoft 365 Defender for Endpoint. So I thought, that's a good suggestion. So I thought we'll take a look at it and we'll talk about exactly what it is and how it works. Okay, now just before we start, if you've not subscribed, go ahead, click on that subscribe button, ring that bell, and you won't miss out on anything in the future. And as always, if you've got any comments, suggestions, or even feedback, I would love to hear about it. And of course, please give this a good thumbs up. Please like my video and please go ahead and share it. Okay, so are we ready to begin? Let's learn. Okay, so let's get started with a little tour of Defender for Endpoint. So I'm kicking off in Microsoft Azure here, and the first thing that I'll say is if I go into the Security Center in Microsoft Azure, you can see that we get a nice kind of overview of our entire organization. Now, whether you're using Microsoft 365 or Microsoft Azure for virtual machines, containers, and so on, the great thing about the Defender suite of protection is that it covers all of these and they fully integrate with each other's technologies. So you can see down here, I've got things like Azure Defender here, so it gives me a nice kind of overview of absolutely everything. Now, excuse me, we can go into the Defender dashboard here. So this is the Microsoft Defender Security Center. And the first thing you'll notice is that it's actually moving. So it's moving to the Microsoft 365 Security Center, the new security portal there. And if I click onto this, you can see it now takes me there. And now you can see that we have this additional menu in the 365 Security Admin Center, which says endpoints. And you can see that pretty much everything is here. Although I will say not everything at the moment. So it's kind of in transition, I would say. So not everything is here. So I'm finding that I'm having to go back and forth a little bit between the Defender Security Center and the new Security Center. But as I said, in time, all of these things will move across and this portal will then be closed. Okay, so what I thought we might do is take a quick look at what we have. Many of the menu options are pretty much the same. So if I come down here into the Defender admin or the endpoints area, and for example, go into device inventory, you can see I've already gone and pre-populated a device here. So I've got a virtual machine called Win1, and you can see that there's no known risks on it. I can click onto this device. Again, if you're using Intune, this seamlessly will integrate into Intune for things like deploying updates, deploying software, uninstalling, and so on. So you can see here that it's giving me an update. It's telling me that there are currently no known risks on here. The exposure level is high. So I could say, well, do I want to, I could open the device page. I will manage any tags. So if you're using tags to identify, different groups of machines, you can do that. I can go and hunt. So if it says that there's a potential issue, I can go and hunt. It will take me to the advanced hunting menu. And I can also, if I suspect that this device has been maliciously attacked in some way, I can isolate this device. And that's really nice. So you can isolate the device without deleting anything, and you can then study and find out what's going on. With the little ellipse here as well, you can also, you've got some options. So for example, I can restrict any applications being executed on this machine. I can collect an investigation package. So if I want to find out more details, I can initiate a response session. I can, if I've got some kind of automated scripts, I can go ahead and perform an automated investigation. And you can see it will also take me to the action center as well. So I can click onto the action center and it will tell me, hey, do you want to go, have you done an antivirus scan? So at the moment I'm performing an antivirus scan on this particular machine and it hasn't found anything, touch wood. All right. So like I said, that's just in the devices menu. I've just put a single device in here as well. Likewise, if I'm monitoring any virtual networks, for example, in Microsoft Azure, and you've got any kind of network devices here, it will also monitor that as well. All right. A common question that I get is, Andy, how do I onboard devices? Well, the easiest way to do this is going back into the Defender Security Center. And if I simply just scroll right down to the bottom and come into settings, you can see that we've got some options here. So first up then, you've got things like in here, it will say, okay, if I scroll down, it says device management. So for example, if I click into onboarding here, you can see I've gone ahead already and I've onboarded one of my devices. How do you want to deploy it? So do you want to bring in a Windows 10 device? Do you want to generate a script? Do you want to use group policy? So if you're in a hybrid mode, it will show you, it will take you to the group policy settings and you can configure that there. If you're using config manager, current branch, of course, means that you're using a combination of both Endpoint or Intune and configuration manager on premises. You've also got a couple of different versions of that as well. Mobile device management, so just purely managed machines in the cloud, fantastic. And again, you've got VDI, virtual desktop, again for, you've got scripts there as well. And of course, there are also going to be add-ons as well for the new Windows 365, which is coming shortly. So once you've got the script, I can simply just download that script. Once you've run the script on that machine, you can run this little detection test and it will just double check that you've actually got the connection and that everything is fine. And that's it. So that's pretty much it. So once you've run that script, you just basically go and refresh this and it updates and your machine will appear here. All right. Now, other things that we can take a look at then. So again, it doesn't really matter whether I look it from here. I'll tell you what, I'll actually do it from the new admin center here. So you can search for a particular machine here. So I can search for a specific device. I can search for a file, a particular user. I can search for a known vulnerability. So again, I can search for a device and I can say, Win1, and then I can search and you can see it will locate that device and it will bring up that device information. Okay, and this is very similar to the tag that I was just looking at. So we can see here, it tells me, okay, I've not used any tags here at the moment. Fortunately, I don't have any open incidents, but you can see it gives me some information, tells me that it's a 64-bit version of Windows, the IP address, tells me the current network activity, if there are any UAC, so user account access control, for example, any particular alerts on this device, any security recommendations. So you can see I've got some nice security recommendations here, recommending that I go ahead and update the .NET framework. Again, if I'm in Intune, I can then go ahead and set that up. And you can see it will then say, take me to the software page, and I can then pretty much just update that. So you can see here, I've also got a potential 0-day attack. Okay, that's not good. So it tells me what is a 0-day. So it tells me that it's a publicly disclosed vulnerability. So it's really important that you patch that. And the nice thing is it really explains exactly what it is. And again, if you want to know more, it will take you through to the links at docs.microsoft.com. So it tells me what the vulnerability is, and it tells me that there is an exploit, a known exploit. And again, it tells me if there's any documentation. And also, again, I can now go to the software page and update that and fix that problem. So that is really nice. Okay. So again, recommendations allows you to be proactive. So here on the software inventory tab, I've got a complete software inventory, all the software, again, that's currently running on that particular machine. So again, this is a great place to come and have a look and investigate a bit more, just to find out if there's anything here that shouldn't be here. Okay. Then we've got the vulnerability management menu. So again, I can expand this menu and it shows me if I've got any potential known vulnerabilities. Again, you also get what we call an exposure score. So it looks at your organization and says, okay, yeah, you're quite high. And again, it's because of that 0-day that vulnerability there. So immediately it's telling me, hey, okay, what can I do? How can I fix this? Now, you also get the secure score for devices. So again, based on the operating system, the networking, applications, and again, it shows you the remediation activities, and it makes recommendations here. So the recommendation, of course, will be to go ahead and update that 0-day vulnerability, which is really important. Okay, so remediation, again, takes me through to the remediation page. Again, tells me, hey, if there's any remediation here that needs done or anything that you have done, it will be there. A software inventory for all of your machines here, of course. So it shows me how many machines have actually got that. Again, potential vulnerabilities and potential impacts there are really important. Okay. Other thing is it also would indicate any vulnerabilities. So again, we get a complete library of potential vulnerabilities. And again, you can go into any of these and it will give you details on that vulnerability description, how it would impact your organization. And again, then I can go to any recommendations in order to fix that potential problem that I might have. Okay, what else have we got here? Right, the other things that we've got here, you've also got partners. So if you're working with any partner organizations, you're using partner applications, and there are a whole bunch of these, and these seamlessly integrate into Microsoft Defender 365. All right, now you can either just view these connectors, or you can also use the API Explorer as well. One of the really nice features I like as well is this is great for consultancy. So again, if things like not just the software, but also consultancy services here can be really useful as well. Now, again, we had this in the original Defender for Endpoint. This is a great place that you can learn. So we have what we call an evaluation lab, and you can go ahead and you can set up a lab environment, and you can say, hey, okay, what kind of lab environment do you want to set up here? So I can say, yeah, I want to set up, for example, 4 devices, 48 for a couple of days. What kind of simulation agent is it. So again, you can go ahead and you can install an agent. Okay, you need to accept the terms and conditions, of course. So yeah, I go ahead and you accept those terms and conditions, and again, then you'll be able to go through and do this. Okay, so again, I'll go ahead and click next, and it will then go ahead and set up a lab interface. And again, this is great because it gives me tutorials. So it will run the simulations. It will ask me, go ahead and provision some devices. And again, a fantastic way to learn the product. The other thing that we've also got here as well is tutorials and simulations. So again, Microsoft have, you can see a backdoor, a backdoor attack. We've got an automated investigation. There's persistence methods, defense evasion techniques, and you can go ahead and you can get the simulation file, download that simulation file, and when you open the file, so if I go and say, okay, let's have a look at this, it not just gives you the file, but it will also give you the documentation. So in essence, a lab guide to do this as well. All right, so definitely take a look at those tutorials and simulations. They're really good. Okay, finally, we've got the configuration manager here, and this is my option if I want to go and connect to Intune. Before you do that, just make sure that you've got the appropriate licenses, and also it's switched on in Azure Active Directory. If you're not sure how to do that, I did a recent video on deploying Windows 10 on Intune on my YouTube channel. So go ahead and check that out here. We also have, so that you can see, as I said, that's the endpoint. Now, the nice thing is that it seamlessly links in with the rest of the 365 Security Admin Center. In a future session, I'm going to cover SIEM, so Security Incident and Event Management with Azure Sentinel. So watch out for that in the not too distant future as well. Now, if you're using Cloud App Security, also remember that this fully integrates with Cloud App Security as well. Now, if I go back to the Defender Security Admin Center, you can see that there are more options here. Now, as I said, the settings are currently moving into the 365 Admin Center, but not all of them are there yet. So personally, I think you're going to be here for a little bit more time anyway. Okay, so up here, it shows me that we've got some threat analytics in here. So, where are we up to? If we have any kind of known vulnerabilities such as ransomware, what kind of threats are those proving to be in our organization? If we've got an alert, fortunately we don't have any alerts at the moment. And of course, you can deploy all of these threat protection. You've got a whole bunch of different threat protection reportings here. So things like alert trends, the statuses, you've got device health, and also the compliance of the device. So again, I've just got a single device in here at the moment, but you can see it's looking pretty good. Everything seems to be okay, and fortunately I don't have anything nasty there. If I did have any vulnerable devices, which of course I've got one because of that 0-day vulnerability, you can then quickly say, okay, I need to deal with that. Again, partners APIs, same as before, you've got that. You've also got things like threat and vulnerability management. So again, you get that threat and vulnerability dashboard. You get your secure score, your exposure score, very, very similar to what I showed you in the new 365 Admin Center. I kind of like this though, because it also provides you with the kind of the top security recommendations here. So it says, hey, you've got a 0-day attack. There is a software update for that. So again, you want to go ahead and make sure that you deploy that software update to your appropriate users. And again, you can go ahead and you can do that through Intune here. So again, those very same settings are in the 365 Admin Center as well. The one thing I would say, just going into the settings here, there's a lot more settings than in the 365 version of the Admin Center here. So for example, the key things which are not in the other center yet are the onboarding scripts that I mentioned, and also the offboarding as well. So if you want to take a device out or stop that device from being monitored, maybe for one reason or another you're retiring that device, you can do that here. Again, just download the package, run the script, and it will then offboard that device here. You can also kind of configure things like alert suppression if you think that you're being alerted too much. There is an API, so you can enable a SIEM connector. So, you know, you might say, Andy, I'm not using the Azure event Sentinel. Can I use a third-party one? Absolutely, go ahead. You can just click on that and add that in here. One thing that you can also do is you can create a device group. So you can see I've got one device group at the moment, which is in there. And like for management, of course, you can also have admin roles. So you've got dedicated RBAC admin roles, and you can see Defender for Endpoint Administrator is the default role. So, you know, you don't need to give security people, you know, full access. You might just want to give them access for this Defender admin role. Okay. So I hope that you found this little tour interesting and that it's got you started. Do remember that in terms of getting started, getting help, you can learn more about the 365 Defender portal. Anything that's got a blue link will take you not just to the portal, but also you've got all of those documents, so things like docs.microsoft.com. So anything in here where it says learn more, it will take you through to that portal, and you can learn everything there. So that's a great set of resources for you there. So there you have it, Defender for Endpoint, which is now part of the Microsoft 365 Security Center. I really hope that you enjoyed that and you got a lot out of it. Of course, if you've got questions, I love questions. So get those questions and your comments down below. And I would love a big like if you wouldn't mind. All right. Now, if you've not subscribed to the channel, go ahead, click on that subscribe button, ring that bell, and you won't miss out on the good stuff in the future. If you're interested in Defender for Endpoint, I've got some advanced topics that I'm planning in the next few weeks, so watch out for that. All right. So in the meantime, thanks so much for dropping by, and I really appreciate it. And you stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Thanks for dropping by. Hope you enjoyed the video. Go ahead and click on the subscribe button and ring that bell, and you won't miss a thing. See you next time.